What's up, everyone? John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here. There are a few phones every year that I get really excited to finally dig in, see what they look like. The Galaxy Nexus is definitely one of those 2 or 3 phones each year that I am excited to take a look at. So I've got the spotlight right here on the newest Android flagship. It's rocking the tasty ice cream sandwich, which I have not had a chance to play with yet. So let's go ahead and explore this together and go ahead and unbox the Galaxy Nexus. So the setup that you're looking at might look a bit familiar. I'm working from my home office, so it's a bit of an old school style. And we also get a bit of an old school unboxing. The big old knife is making a comeback. Here is the Galaxy Nexus box. This was sent to us from the folks at Negri Electronics. You can take a look at ice cream sandwich, see the device on the front. I believe it's probably actual size. Picture of it on the side, a little bit of a hump down below, which we should all be so lucky to have. A Google Samsung logo, and a picture of the device on the side. Senor Stabby comes out. Obligatory joke about not cutting off finger can be had as well. Hope I don't cut off my finger. All right, we've got the seal broken, both literally and metaphorically. Go ahead and open this guy up, and we'll run through all the specs and the rest of that stuff in just a minute. All right, we shall slide the Galaxy Nexus box off the top. Pretty thin box as well. There's some cushioned padding on top, the Android logo peering out the side. And here is the Galaxy Nexus, my first time touching this phone. The plastic like it came off it. It feels very similar to the Galaxy S2, at least on first blush. Put that off to the side for just a second, see what else we are going to get in the box. We've got the wall charger. I think I've got the little UK charger here, so you might want to bring your own charger if you're going to pick one of these guys up. Standard micro USB will work. That goes and slides in. And if you're in the UK, you're going to be able to use that. If you're elsewhere, like me, not going to be so useful to you. What else are we going to get in the box? Quick start guide for getting started quickly. There's the cable that connects to that. It's, of course, micro USB. Got a pair of headphones. Let's take a look at these headphones. Looks like they're a little bit higher quality than you generally get with most phones. I got those custom earbuds, and there's a inline mic right there, and you can answer calls. I think even adjust, nope, just answer calls. No volume adjustment to be had there. And then we've got the battery that keeps this whole shebang powered up, and it is of size 3.7 volts. I think it's 1700 milliamp hours. Or just about, 1,750 milliamp hours. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Galaxy Nexus. I'm going to go ahead and pop in the battery. We'll run through the specs. All right, so the back of this phone is very familiar to what we've seen on the Galaxy S2. It's that sort of polycarbonate plastic back. Very flexible, but it feels solid when it's on the phone. SIM card slot goes in there. Battery's going to live in here. We'll go ahead and let it do a boot up. I'll run through all the specs and see what you can expect from your ice cream sandwich running device. Go ahead and snap all that in place. It's a little bit harder to get the back in though than some other Samsung phones. Good to see it. A lot of snaps, lots of clips to get in there. Clip in. All right, I'm totally gonna break the back. Let's try this again. All right, slide it and push around. You can hear all the snapping in place. That's good. All right, back is almost on. I need a good workout to get that back in. Okay, so now we're set. Galaxy Nexus, peel off the plastic. Let's go ahead and give this guy a power on. Let's run through all the specs. This guy brings quite a bit with it. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the screen. It is Super AMOLED. Of course, it's capacitive. It can show 16 million colors. But where the real fun is the resolution. 720, of course that's that way, by 1280, which is that way. So that means it has a full 720p display. And that display is 4.65 inches. For those of you keeping track at home, that's a whopping 316 ppi pixel density. Pretty impressive, actually. It's got the oleophobic surface. Of course, it's multi-touch, accelerometer. It's got a barometer here in here as well, and the 3-axis gyro sensors. This guy is a pentaband unlocked, meaning it can work on 3G, HSPA+, anywhere you are. So if you live in a country that uses SIM cards for GSM, this is going to work for you. So don't have to worry, we'll be coming to the US in Verizon garb on LTE. This particular guy, no expandable memory, but it does have 16 gigs. A lot has been made about the back of this guy, that camera. Samsung didn't use their highest end camera module. This is the 5 megapixel sensor that can shoot 1080p video at 30 frames per second. On the front, we've got a 1.3 megapixel shooter living there as well. So continuing the tour, interesting with the Android device, we don't have any capacitive buttons here. The buttons are going to live on the screen. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. We've got a volume rocker up and down on the left. On the right-hand side, there's your power and lock button. There are 3 little connectors for presumably some sort of dock in the future. Nothing's going to be on top. On the bottom, 3.5 millimeter headset jack. Bit of an odd placement. There's your syncing and charging port, that plastic back that we talked about. This is a big phone, but it does not feel big in the hand at all. So let me go ahead and go through the setup process. We'll come back, we'll take a quick look at Ice Cream Sandwich. All right, so we are all set up. This can be our first taste of Ice Cream Sandwich together. This is the first screen you see. Make yourself at home, so letting you know how to open applications. Go ahead and do that. Choose some apps, and OK. And I think that now we're finally set an alarm. We don't want to do any of that. Let's go ahead and hit the home button. And here we are in Ice Cream Sandwich. So I mentioned earlier that you've got 3 capacitive buttons on the bottom, and those are on-screen buttons. Actually, I shouldn't say capacitive. They're on-screen buttons. There's a bit of haptic feedback, though, with them. They do take up a little bit of real estate on that 4.65-inch screen. So let's show you some of the new stuff here in Ice Cream Sandwich. Of course, I'll do a full overview of Ice Cream Sandwich. Those buttons being the biggest one. One of the main additions here is you can make folders. Go ahead and drag stuff on top of each other. At least in theory, I should be able to make a folder. Does not want me to make a folder. There we go. Folder's been made, goes ahead and opens up applications, organize your apps within folders. That's what I just did. You can rearrange the icons down here in your dock, and of course, third-party docks are always available if you don't like these. Some other sort of fun additions, go ahead and take a look at applications. Thank you, lots of tutorials here. So all your widgets, you got some neat animations as you scroll through them, or all your applications. But widgets now live here. This is where they live, so let's go ahead and pick bookmarks. This is going to look very, go ahead and go over to a new screen, hopefully a blank one somewhere. Aha. And this is going to look very honeycomb-ish in the way that if you tap it, you can resize it. Resize it. There we go. So you can do this for a ton of different applications. So we're fine with it like that. The Google search now lives at the top. If I go ahead and pull this down, see that looks a bit different. You can tap right there, and you can go right into settings. And this is where some stuff is different as well. So it's rearranged for what you use the most, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You can toggle those on and off. Got a data usage thing here. So we live in an era of capped data. So you now can set data caps. So if you say you want to set a warning at 2 gigabytes, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to set a limit, so you want a warning at 1.5 and you want it to stop everything at 2, you can go ahead and do that here as well. And you can also set which applications are using the most data, and you can monitor that, or you can essentially set it to turn off all data when you're not on Wi-Fi and you hit a certain number. So I'll go ahead back and hit home. Let's take a quick look at the browser. And again, this is my first time ever taking a look at Ice Cream Sandwich, so I'm kind of excited. We'll see the keyboard here. It looks kind of the same than we've seen on the past. We'll go ahead and run to Techno Buffalo. And I can type that from the side. We'll pull it up, Techno Buffalo. Do a quick Google search on it. And boom. See what the web browser looks like. And I will say, in past with AMOLED and Super AMOLED Plus, and Super Extra AMOLED awesomeness, there sometimes is a bit of a blue hint to the screen. I'm not seeing that here at all, though. The whites look white, which is very nice for a screen like this. The phone feels very light in the hand. I'm actually surprised at how light it feels for a screen that big. Let's go ahead and jump back to the web. And looking at a resolution that's 720 by 1280, I was worried the text was going to be almost too sharp, that you couldn't read any text on here. And that doesn't appear to be the case. So hats off to Samsung. Go ahead and jump back. Take a look at dialer. That's what that looks like. Hit home. And as you go through and you go to different applications, these buttons will either show up or disappear. So let's go ahead and lock the phone and take a look at some of the other sneak stuff that are here. So I can drag that to the right to unlock. I can drag it to the left to jump at the camera, sort of a nod to HTC Sense. And there's been some improvements here in the camera as well. I've got some panoramic modes and a ton of other options. And those menu buttons have totally disappeared. And if you can see on the right-hand side, there are 3 dots. So you got to remember what those dots do. That one goes back to home. And these icons, of course, will rearrange themselves at the bottom. So it's been a very quick first look at the Galaxy Nexus and a very quick first look at Ice Cream Sandwich. Of course, stay tuned to the channel for a ton more coverage on the Galaxy Nexus, on Ice Cream Sandwich, and all other Android goodness. Let me do a real quick size comparison. Here's the 4.7-inch HTC Titan, which is a titan of a phone. And you notice next to each other, there's really not that big a difference. HTC chose metal, whereas Samsung and the Galaxy Nexus chose plastic. So this phone is much, much, much lighter. You stack them on top, you can see the size comparison there. Let's go ahead and bring in the enemy of both operating systems here. And of course, being Android and Windows Phone 7, we've got the iPhone for an obligatory size comparison. I hope you can see on a black background. Not the most ideal lighting for an unboxing. The phone came in on a Saturday. I was hoping it was going to come in on a Friday. You can see a bit of the size comparison there as well. So if you guys enjoyed, stay tuned to Techno Buffalo for all your Galaxy Nexus and Ice Cream Sandwich news. I am John Rettinger, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.